and welcome to my Cities Skylines 2 wishlist with me, TW1. Before we get into what I'd like to see in Cities Skylines 2, if and when it comes, fingers crossed it comes pretty soon, let's very quickly talk about the history of city builders because context is key. Our story begins March 5th, 2013. SimCity 2013 was released on that day. All you need to know really is that game didn't perform very well and was considered a flop by many. 2 years, 5 days later, Cities Skylines was released. Paradox Interactive and Colossal Orders then built Cities Skylines from the ground up on the Unity engine in that time frame, and released the game at quite a low price compared to all of its competitors, undercutting the market and rising to the top very, very quickly. Cities Skylines was a hit, and it was here to stay. 5 years later, and with a good steady flow of DLC and some stunning work by the Steam Workshop community, the game is still live on YouTube and on Twitch and on Reddit, on Instagram and on Twitter. Trust me, it's out there. It is still doing solid numbers, but there is a desire for a new release title, and it is a potential feature that Paradox could integrate into a new release title that I would like to talk about. So let's get straight to the list with number 1. Like I have already mentioned, Cities Skylines 1 was built off the Unity engine, and with older engines come some issues. There also come some positives as well, we'll talk about that. But I do think a new engine will solve a lot of the problems that the current game currently has. Main one being RAM. If you have stumbled your way onto the workshop on PC, picked up a few assets, picked up a few mods, you quickly find yourself with over 1,000 of these assets or mods, and you will then very quickly find out that your PC is screaming out for some more RAM, and that is a serious problem. A lot of top modded players will recommend 32GB of RAM for your PC, which is an outrageous amount. A lot of people, when they are constructing their new PC, will not include 32GB of RAM because RAM is expensive. With a new engine that could be better optimized for RAM requirements, this could be lowered by a ton, making the game a little bit easier for everyone to play. The other thing is it may remove the 500,000 population cap that you currently have on all consoles. You may or may not know that, but that is there. Another one of the little bugbears when it comes to Cities Skylines 1 is the traffic AI. The new engine could really improve the AI, making it more intuitive. When it comes to a new engine, I think they are the two main improvements to the game that we could see. Of course, there could be other little ones behind the scenes that we don't exactly understand. One little problem that may crop up from a new engine could be that modders find it harder when it comes to a new engine, but that is pure speculation and we would have to see what happens if and when it comes. Number 2 is all about graphics. Graphics are all you see splattered all over a lot of AAA games. And yes, graphics are a quality of life thing, but Cities Skylines Vanilla really does look outdated. Yes, with mods, themes, lots. You can make Cities Skylines look beautiful. You can make Cities Skylines look photorealistic. Don't believe me? Go check out some of the details on YouTube. Go check out some of the details on Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, Twitter. All of the socials, some of the stuff that you can see is absolutely mind-blowing. Some of the stuff you'll actually think is realistic. I'm not kidding you. It looks beautiful. But you should not have to use mods and LUTs and assets and other little things like that to make the game look beautiful in the base game. This goes for PC players and console players as well. I want the game to look great on console because the better it looks on console, the more it will sell. And the more it sells, the bigger this community gets. Number 3 is all about the inclusion of some of the top workshop assets and mods. If you browse Cities Skylines Workshop, you will have seen lots and lots of mods and lots of assets for nearly anything you can think of. And as we have seen with the new above ground metro and highlighting community assets on Cities Twitter, that Paradox are clearly watching what the community are making and what the community are subscribing to. They have had a little attempt at implementing the above ground metro into the game with an okay success. It wasn't exactly as good as the overhaul metro mod, but at least they are trying, and I would like to see them take a load of the mods and a load of the assets and implement them into Cities Skylines 2. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I'm going to talk about 2 that I think have become very, very synonymous with Cities Skylines, and that is, of course, Traffic Manager Present Edition and the Move It mod. Traffic Manager, of course, allows you to control the speeds of roads, junction turn arrows, what cars can use what roads, and the famous Who Goes There lane controls. And I think a version of this in Cities Skylines 2 with a good in-depth tutorial on how to use it properly could be a great addition to the game. Poorly implemented with little to no tutorial, you may see more people confused by this feature than helped, because I have seen many new people use this mod and it does more damage to the city than good. The other mod, the Move It mod by Cuboid, allows you to reposition, bend pretty much any item in the game. It allows you to slope roads, copy and paste areas, and a lot more. A mod that is heavily used by detailers and decorators in Cities Skylines, and it gives you an absolute ton of creative freedom with your city. Number 4 follows on from what I just spoke about when it comes to creative freedom. I don't know about you, but I hate it when I can't get a building to sit nicely alongside a curved road because it either keeps clipping into the road or it keeps snapping to areas I don't want. I would like to see Paradox take the free placing model that they have done with assets from the Park Life DLC and the Campus DLC and apply that to all buildings. That free-flowing placement gives you a lot more creativity and it can make your city a lot more unique. Touching on DLCs brings me to number 5. I want to see at least 75% of all current DLC content and assets we have in Cities Skylines 1 copy and pasted at bare minimum into Cities Skylines 2. I'm talking all of the public transport options we currently have. Okay, maybe not helicopters because they suck, but seriously, I want Green City stuff for Park Life, Campus, Industry, Snowfall, all of it into the game. And in an ideal world, I'd like to see Paradox Interactive take some of them DLCs and add to them, grow them, tweak them, and improve them. Give us more control when it comes to the cost of public transport. Make it so we can actually make a profit out of public transport without it being an absolute nightmare. Allow us to make bus lines free to all students but more expensive to seniors. Make the Industry DLCs the main way the Industry is done in Cities Skylines 2. I think that would be a great addition. Maybe have Campus as the only way to do a university. Park Life, I would like to see that alongside ploppable parks, because I think if you had to build a park every time, it may become a little bit repetitive and a little bit OTT. But yeah, all of the DLC stuff, a good 75% of it at least, slap it straight into Cities Skylines 2, please, Paradox. If you don't do that, I'm going to be one sad panda. And now, finally, on to wishlist number 6. And the final one of the episode as well, and that is multiplayer. I know what you're thinking. SimCity tried this, and it really didn't work. Why on earth should Cities Skylines try multiplayer? Well, I think SimCity failed because they had an always online system, and people hated that. I'm looking at you, Microsoft, with the Xbox One release. But I do want to give EA credit where it is due. I think when it comes to multiplayer, they were onto something. Having a world, for example, with multiple city plots that interact with each other would be really cool. You could also have cities and towns built around a certain type of industry like in real life. And they could trade with each other. And for example, let's say your coastal city gets swiped out badly by a massive tsunami. It could affect all of the cities and all over the world because your main supply of oil has just been ripped out. So all of the other cities would have to rally together to help out this one city that's been hit by a natural disaster. This feature would also be huge for YouTubers and Twitch. Streamers, for example, could have their own city on their world, or maybe a server they have bought, and their viewers could have plots on that world as well. The streamer could then go visit the world to maybe learn about something, teach the viewer about something, or just have a cool little community challenge out of it. And as we've spoken about, the Cities Skylines community is very strong, and that is one of the main reasons why this game has lasted so long as it is. Gee, this game is 5 years old, so without further ado, I asked you for your wish list. I asked you for your thoughts on my wish list, and would multiplayer work? Let us know what you think down in the comments below. For more Cities Skylines action, click here for my Let's Play, click here for a DLC tier list, and as always, hit like, hit subscribe, and peace out.